Crazy Will here today, and today we're going to be talking about a wannabe GoPro for 50 bucks. Let's see. Crazy Will here from Crazy Will's Tech Show, and actually have another little camera review. Today we're going to be talking about the Campark Extreme Eye Ultra 4K. So this is a little bit of a, for lack of a better words, a wannabe GoPro type of camera. So I was shopping on Amazon and I see this little mini camera, an action camera, and I think of my brother Tom right away because he does a lot of action stuff. He likes skateboarding, snowboarding, all kinds of crazy stuff. And I just sent him the link and he ordered it. Then I was visiting in New York and he was like, hey, why don't you take this and play with it and see what you think about it, because you know you do tech reviews. So I was like, okay, do you mind if I make a video on it? He said no. So I've been messing around with it for probably, I was up there for Christmas, so we're looking at 3 weeks messing around with it, seeing what I think of it, see if, you know, it was something that he should keep or take back, or maybe even something I may want. So like my last camera video that was really popular, I'm gonna put this through its steps, show you video quality, show you what it comes with, tell you about battery life, pretty much everything you need to know about this little camera, and to see if it really shoots 4K video that's worth having. So this is the camera. It's got a button on top, which is okay, a button right here to turn it on and off, and it's got 2 side buttons right there. And it got a little weird compartment, which is kind of weird to put the battery in. I'll show you that. It's a little weird, the whole door comes off. I'm not sure if I like that, but... And then it does have an LED display in the back. It is not touchscreen. So on this side, you actually has a mini HDMI out. That's the port for charging right there. And then your little mini SD card, you push on it, it takes the mini SD cards, and I actually have, that's the little SD cards that it takes right there. It's got a really crazy wide angle lens, and it has a little LED light that you can turn on and off. Oh, and I didn't mention, this actually has an app to work with your smartphone, and it's wireless. So let's take a look at the accessories, shall we? This is the table of the accessories it came with. Right here, what you're looking at is the case, which is really nice. It's foam, and it's got all these pieces in it, tension straps, and these are Velcro straps. Then you got all different types of assortment, like a handlebar strap, waterproof case, different backing for it, some straps there, tripod mount, so you can mount the camera on a tripod or mount it to anything with a bolt, different clips. There's a lot of accessories here, and it comes with 2 batteries, by the way. That's another thing. It comes with 2 batteries, mounts and padding, clips so that way you don't lose it. User manual, terry cloth, pretty much everything you'd need to get started. Okay, I apologize for the mess, but this is the work area of my studio. So this is where I mess around with stuff and try to invent things. Not really. This is the case, to release case. I saw on reviews that people were having problems opening the case, which I don't know, but it's a little strange to me. So basically, you pull this back, it has a lever in the back that opens, and you open the back, and as you can see, it has a water seal around it. And if you look behind me, I got a pitcher of water. As much as you guys would love to see me jump in a pool in the middle of January, even though I'm in North Carolina, not gonna happen. Okay, so I put the battery in. This is the little camera. We're gonna place it right in there. All the buttons work inside the case, by the way. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take this tab, and if you see it's like this, and you're gonna push it right there. You're gonna make sure it locks. Boom. So now the camera's securely in there. If it breaks, I'm gonna have to buy my brother a new camera. Okay, I'm recording. Moment of truth. Let's see if this works. And I'm going to dunk this in the water. And I'm a little nervous because this isn't my camera. I did test it last night. I put a tissue in here and I held it under with a coffee mug. Let's see how it works. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. So it is recording. Alright, so I got it underwater. It is recording, and I will show you what the video looks like if it survives underwater. Alright, so I took a little bit of video. We're going to pull it out, see if it's still working. And the light's still flashing, so that's a good sign. Dry it off. Okay, so it survived the water test. I don't have to buy my brother a new camera. All right, so I'm going to give you a quick overview of how the function of the camera works, just in case you don't want to use the app. And I am going to show you the app, but first I just want to show you the functions of the buttons. It was a little complex for me in the beginning. You're basically using 4 buttons, and one of them is the on button, and you have to use that for multiple things. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Basically, to turn it on and off is this button right here. And this is also your awake button and your function button. And if you hit it, it goes to the picture mode. You hit it again, goes to slow motion mode. If you hit it again, you go to the play mode where you could watch the video you just made. You hit it again and you go into settings. Now, I want to talk about the settings. You hit OK to get into the settings, which is on the top. Once you're in settings, this is where you can program it. You use the up and down keys to go through the menu, and you use the OK to get in to the function. And that's where it's a whole huge menu. I just want to show you how to navigate through it. I'm not going to go through all the settings. I will on the app just to show you how it works, and it's a little bit faster in the app. And just to let you know, when you're in this menu, you have to go to the X. You got to keep hitting the OK button, the front button here, and scroll to the X and then hit the OK to get out of the menu. All right, so I want to show you how to set up the Wi-Fi mode on this camera. Now, it is really cool to have this Wi-Fi mode. I do have to give you a little heads up that if it breaks connection with the Wi-Fi, like let's say you have the phone on you and the camera gets thrown, or you walk away from the camera, the Wi-Fi mode will stop the video, and that's it. It's off. You'd have to establish a reconnection and then start the video over again. So keep that in mind if you do any action sports. Let's activate the Wi-Fi. Real simple. You turn it on, you hold down on it, you turn it on, you get that whole wake up mode, okay? And then you hold the up key right here. And if it's the first time you're setting up for the Wi-Fi mode, you're going to get this screen right here. And you're going to get a passcode of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so now that the Wi-Fi is on, what you're going to do is in your phone, you're going to go to settings, you're going to go to Wi-Fi, and you're going to see the action cam. So we're going to click on that action cam. Now they're going to establish, and if it's the first time you're doing this, you actually have to put in that passcode, and it gives you the passcode. You hit it. Once it's connected, you open up the app, and it is Sports XDV, okay? And you get real feedback on the phone, which is really, really cool for a $50 wannabe GoPro. Let's take a look at the app, shall we? And there you go. What we're gonna do is, I'm showing you the in-app applications here. So this is capture mode. This is media. You could store it on your phone, or you could just store it on your device. There's your device. That's your phone. Tells you how much space you have. We can click on settings, and we can actually do the resolution. Indicator lights, you could turn them on and off, watermark. I just want to show you there's a lot of stuff in the settings itself. Hi. So this is what you normally see. This is the live stream, and you can actually record here. If you hit the camera, you could record, and now it's recording. Or you can, and it's saving the recording, you could take a picture, or you can go into slow motion, and it takes it, it does slow motion. It does, it says 90 to 120 frames per second. Those are your options. All right, first we're going to look at the actual recording. So this is recording mode. So you can do it normal mode, you can do it loop mode. What that is every 2 minutes it'll make a video. So it keeps recording, but it makes a video every 2 minutes. So you can put that in, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever. I'm going to turn it off. Time lapse. This is off right now, but you can make a time lapse for every 2 seconds, every 5 seconds, every 10 seconds. That's really cool. It's a really cool feature. All right, so that's the app. It's pretty intuitive. It's pretty cool. Another thing that I want to tell you that I did not want to announce, I broke down and got an Apple Watch. So I know it works on the Apple Watch. You actually get, if you go into the app, I'm assuming a small name brand company, that they actually have a watch app. You have it on the phone, you have the camera, and then you actually can hit capture, record. It's basic buttons that you're getting. It's got a couple buttons in there to make it so like if your phone's in your pocket and you have the Wi-Fi connection, you can start the capture. It's just basic buttons on your watch, so you could just use it. I just thought it was neat. So this is the part where I'm gonna do a video comparison for you guys. I'm gonna mount the action camera next to the Canon Vixia. Okay, so if you guys are familiar with my video, you know I shoot on the Canon Vixia, so we're gonna compare the Canon HFR800 resolution to this action cam, which is Campark Extreme Ultra 4K. And what I'm gonna do is set this up, and I'm gonna shoot it at 1080p at 30 frames per second, and I'm gonna have them pretty much mirroring themselves. So I'm gonna do a shot of me, I'm gonna do a shot of outside. This is the comparison to the Canon Vixia against the action camera. So you can see the resolution and the difference. Now obviously I took the wide angle lens off of the Canon Vixia, so this is its native video, native audio. So you could hear the audio, and I'm gonna switch the audio in between so you could see the native size. And now this, and I could see it actually in real time, this is a wider angle. You're seeing a lot more from the action camera than you would on the Canon. So it does automatically have a wider angle, and I do apologize if it's harder to compare resolutions. This is a little bit of an angle. To get it to get me, I had to put it in an angle. This is a low light situation. There's no lights hooked to the camera. I showed you a picture of the camera rig. So this is the scenario for low light. So now I'm going to take it outside and see what it looks like. Alright, so now we're outside. Again, it's native. It's just the lighting in the area. I'm going to walk around this camera a little bit, but I'm going to change the audio so you could hear the difference between the audio in the middle of the video. And I am checking it. Like I said, it's a very wide angle, so it is going to be hard to show you the resolution, but you can get the idea of it and make the judgment for yourself. But this right now is both cameras native. Now as you can see, the resolution, come on, Belle. My voice, do you like Bella's cute little sweater? So I'm going to go back and forth with the voice right now because I'm talking. And you can see Bella's cute little sweater and see how she looks. She's my subject. Let's get the sky. Give you an idea. So now the light's to the back of me. Okay. So this is going to be a slow mode. It's at 120 frames per second. Whew. Okay, it's cold out there. Really cold. Okay, so that was a view of what the 1080p was, and we did the slow-mo. I didn't mention this, but it is a 170-degree viewing angle on the lens. That's why it looks so wide compared to the video. But I got my regular setup back. I got my light, my mic, and my wide-angle lens. Let's take a look at time-lapse. This is time-lapse, and you can set whatever differential amount of time you want to lapse in between frames, but so this was a little drive to work to let you see. Alright, so I wasn't super impressed with the 4K. It wasn't bad, it just, for the resolution, it wasn't the greatest, and I noticed stuttering and a lot of artifact in the actual 4K. So I'm going to show you some 4K. It is using a Sony sensor in there, so I don't know if it's the processing inside there that for 4K, I mean, and you know, you guys could try it for yourself, but for me, I don't think this is the 4K I would use if I was hardcore into this. But let's take a look at the 4K, shall we? one thing that usually is lacking in cheaper products like this, cameras and stuff like that, is battery. And in this one, I was really surprised with the battery. It comes with two, like I said earlier. I actually did a little further for you guys on this one. I actually timed them. So time lapse lasted about 2.5 hours. So if you were looking to do a sunset or something like that, you could possibly squeeze that in. You get 2.5 hours on that, roughly. As far as 4K, it'll last about an hour and a half. I didn't do all the measurements, but I did, you know, these were the basic ones I went with. But 1080p at 30 frames per second, you were looking at close to 2 hours. I would put that more at an hour and 45 minutes. Another thing to note with the 4K, you can only do 15 minutes at a clip, and then it makes a new one, and then a new one, and then a new one. So, but it does keep recording. It just, it makes 15-minute intervals as far as the file format. You know, you'll see 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes. So that's basically how that works. It's pros and cons time. Let's do the pros first, shall we? Pros. Wi-Fi live viewing. Awesome on this thing. With the app, through the phone, you're able to control it, you're able to see it, play it back, see everything right on this. Works really good. Just don't go too far from it. Accessories. As you can see, comes with a lot of accessories that if you bought these other brands, you would have to buy. So these accessories are awesome. Came with everything you needed to just mount it to anything. Price. This thing was only 50 bucks. I mean, and if you catch it on sale, you can get it for $39.99. I saw one of those flash deals. I almost grabbed it. The features like time lapse, loop recording, slow-mo. Awesome little features for this camera and easy to get to. Is that you have a wide variety of shooting formats that you could do. It had 1080p at 30 frames per second, 60 frames per second. It had the slow-mo, like I said, and it has 4K, which I wasn't too impressed with, but it's there. Cons. Okay, so this thing has not a lot, but quite a few cons. The Wi-Fi didn't let you go very far. You have to be pretty close with this for the Wi-Fi. I would say about 10 to 15 feet. It doesn't like to be too far away from the phone, so keep that in mind. Sound. As you heard in the video, the sound wasn't very good, and then once you put the protective cover over it, it's like the sound is so muffled it might as well not even be there, which you could turn off the sound in the settings. Another con that was kind of a big one for me was video playback. When you have it on Wi-Fi mode and you try to play back the video, it will work, but it was really, it's very laggy. It takes really long time to get that video playback. It was also a pain in the butt to try and transfer it to the phone. It was kind of a process. I didn't really care for that part of it. I think they could have made it easier, and this could be a software update, so I don't think this will really hurt it, but it was kind of a pain in the butt. It didn't have a touchscreen, which I think it would have made the menus a little easier if it had a touchscreen. But like I said, it's 50 bucks. I mean, can you really get a touchscreen in it for 50 bucks? Maybe in the future. Maybe we'll see something like that. Another thing is low light. It was not good in low light situations, even though it does have an LED light that you can burst out there, but it's more like a flashlight kind of view, and I didn't care for it. Another thing I didn't care for were the buttons. The buttons were a little complex, and this goes with the touchscreen thing. Like I said, it didn't have it. So the buttons, you know, you have to do a combination of the buttons, and you're constantly doing like this around it. It was a little complex. I mean, once you get used to it, it's not bad, but it was a little frustrating in the beginning. And once I got the hang of it, because you could back out completely out of a menu, and then you'd be like, oh crap, now you gotta start all over again. So the buttons were a little bit of an issue. Another problem that I came across on this camera, and this again could be a software update, but it does kind of concern me, because the way I do it is I shoot my video on an SD card and then I take it out and hook it into my SD card reader on my computer. This one, you cannot really do that. You can, but once you take it out and you put it in an SD card reader, I don't know why, but it was unreadable after I took it out and put it back in. When I went to go look at the videos, it gave me a missing link for the video, and it messes up the file system. And I noticed that several times as I was making this video and playing with it, that you couldn't just slap it into an SD card reader, and that didn't make sense. I would think that shouldn't bother the format, but apparently it did. And I would say this is probably the biggest downside to this camera is the 4K. I wasn't, and I'm probably gonna get slack for this, but I was not impressed with the 4K at all. I saw artifacting. I didn't care for that, and it was 15-minute intervals, which isn't bad for a little camera. that probably shouldn't be a con, but the artifacting was bad on it. And the 1080 totally, if you're shooting in 1080 like I am, pretty good. All right, so my overall thoughts on this, the final conclusion on this. This is a hard one for me because there are a lot of things I like this. I don't need this camera, so it's actually being shipped back to my brother, just to let you know. I'm having a hard time with this because I'll be honest with you, I kind of want to give it a 3 because there were certain things that I didn't care for, but I am going to give it a 4 out of 5 because it comes out on top in a lot of areas. So I'm gonna say it's a strong 4. It is nowhere near as a 5. I would say it's probably it's in between a 3 and a 4 because it's a good camera, but it's not great. There are things that you could do better, but it's $50. If you paid anything more for this, I would say it's a 3. But because it's $50, I'm gonna say it's a solid 4 and well worth it. You know, I don't know if this would be really YouTube ready. You know, in that aspect, I would probably go, you know, with the cheaper end, maybe GoPro kind of stuff. Or I looked up the top 10 the other night, and you know, even YE actually has an action camera. There's several action cameras out there that you can get for around $100 on up that are worth it. But for this one, being solid 50, you're not overly worried about resolution and, you know, how great it looks. I mean, it's an action camera. So, you know, if it's something that you want to strap onto your vehicle, strap onto something, you know, and you lose it, you're not losing like $500, $600 for like a GoPro. You're losing 50 bucks and that's it. You know, I mean, that's really not that bad. All right, that's it for me, guys. I hope that helped. If it did, make sure you like and subscribe right down there. I'd greatly appreciate it. And remember, you can do anything if you put your mind to it. Later, guys. You thought I was a picture, didn't you? Make sure you like and subscribe. Do me a favor already. Click on one of the videos.